Hey guys, welcome back to OverTakes. This is Kel.
And this is Misfit.
And we're here with our final tier list. This is our, we don't really know exactly tier list.
Yeah,
they could end up really anywhere.
Alright guys, this is going to be part 2 of our teams we don't know where they're going to finish, smash or trash kind of thing. Like they're either going to be really good or really bad. It's part 2 of that. And let's get to it. Let's move on to the next team. Oh boy, here we go.
Yep.
The Dallas Fuel. Because they just confused the fuck out of us anyway.
Right.
Now, they made a lot of changes.
Yeah. This team probably, other than the Dragons, they probably went through... then looking Florida, at their roster, they really didn't... They didn't change as much, but they changed a lot.
They got rid of a lot of stuff that was unnecessary.
Yes. But they added some pretty solid... Yeah. They made some pretty solid additions to this team that I think are going to help them out. I do think the trade to get Unko was a really underrated move that they made last year.
For both teams, it worked out so good.
It worked out really well. I think Unko just wasn't the best fit for that team, for LA. Yeah. And then him...
Custa?
Yeah, Custa going to LA was a good move for them. He just really helped galvanize that team and bring in a leader, whereas the Fuel were kind of overrun with leaders, and though that type of personality, like the guys that kind of take over and want to lead the way that he would. So Unko was it was a really good spot for him where that team was lacking leadership. Unko was just there and he needed to be led. And he kind of got that. Unfortunately, the Fuel did lose probably their best player in Seagull, retiring. I think that's going to be a huge hit for them because he was a big part of why they had the run they did last year. Yeah, because it's like, hey, you have one of the best overall players. Why don't you fucking play him? Nah. And they just didn't until the last stage.
I'm going to play everybody else but him. How about that?
Just made no sense to me.
Kai at his best.
Right? No kidding. But you got the return of AKM. Yeah. AKM Effect. Hopefully Effect kind of has his stuff together.
He finally got into the country, so that's a good start.
That's something. There's still some questionable things going on with him. And I think his mindset is going to be a determining factor on where this team ends up. But...
You have Taimu as well.
Yeah, you have Taimu. You have Mickey, who's just a good glue player, like just that kind of guy who brings everybody together and just makes everyone happy, and they love playing with him. Great teammate. You got Unko, like we just talked about. Yeah. Harry Hook, who's another just solid player. But the big thing with this team is now they're going to get they have a full off season and just a full season going in, where they have OGE as their main tank, and I think that is going to be one of the biggest factors for this team, because OGE is probably one of the most underrated main tanks in the league, and he has the potential to be a top, probably one of the best tanks in the league in general.
I put him in the top 5. Yeah. He just, when he started coming in, they just looked better. Yeah. Did they win all the time? No, but
they just looked more cohesive. He really helped them a lot.
When he was main tank and Seagull was playing Diva, that was fantastic.
Oh, the synergy that those guys had was unbelievable.
Yeah. Now, one of the big things that they did was they brought in Closer.
Yes.
Which is going to help.
Yeah, that's a really, really solid addition to their support line.
I liked him.
And I think he's probably going to take over more for Harry Hook. So it's probably going to be a lot of Closer and Unko,
which that's a decent backline.
But I think depending on the map and how the meta plays out, we could see any mix of those three, because they all have different characters support wise that they're all pretty good at. So it'll be interesting to see how they work out their supports. But adding Closer only makes them better.
Yeah, and then they added Zachary, which are we going to see a lot of him?
Right. With all the DPS this team already has, it's going to be tough for him to really find playtime.
I think he's almost like a
a safety net in case effect goes wonky.
Yeah. That's kind of what it seems like.
I mean, it'll be good for Zachary a little bit too, to learn the league, because he was good.
I'm pretty sure Zachary might be on I think they have him on a two-way contract, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got RCK that I'm assuming what's he?
He's a flex.
Yeah, because Mickey in the beginning of the season is going to be playing Brigida.
Yeah.
I mean, there would be no reason to have him on anything else.
Oh, it's his best character, hands down. I mean, that was another thing that really helped them last season.
Was Seagull going to Diva and Mickey
playing
Brig.
Yeah.
And, early on, it's going to be goats all over the place. And
until there's going to be one team, most likely. Honestly, it could be anybody, but there's going to be a team that's going to figure out something that just works better than goats, and we'll see something weird. But for the most part, to the first stage, I feel like we're going to see mostly goats, because that's just what these guys know. It's what they've been training for a long time at this point.
Yeah, and they were weird. They're a weird team, but one of the things that they also did was bringing in Jane.
Yes.
I think that's going to be huge, because you lost a big brain in Seagull.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of a player coach, and you bring in another guy that's good. He's good with analysis and figuring things out and strategies, along with Arrow. Mm-hmm. Unless they clash ego-wise at some point.
Which there is that potential, because those are two really intelligent guys, but they both have big egos. So it's just something that they got to watch out for. But at the same point, if they work together really, really well, I think their strengths will complement each other, because their strengths and their weaknesses are kind of opposite. So I really think that they could complement each other really well. I think Jane especially is going to help them with their adjustments, and that was one of their big things that they struggled with, even from the beginning of the season all the way even during their good run. They struggled to make adjustments in the second half of games.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a huge thing that Jane brings, because he'll see the patterns and he'll see what he can do and tell them to do to counter those things and just make better adjustments. Because, I mean, that's just like any other sport. It's
adjusting.
Adjustments are huge and critical.
Especially in this game, too, because you got to switch. And I think you'll avoid putting AKM on Genji and Taimu on Winston.
I think AKM will avoid AKM playing Genji.
He's getting every fucking bit out of that damn thing.
He really is. I love how much he embraced that. It's been amazing.
Oh, the AKM blade. And if you're in a game and someone's holding their blade, inevitably someone will say, "Hey, AKM,
you gonna use that?"
Even at my level. So it's a world famous meme now. I think they're potentially, I mean, it could be like last year, or it could be like we thought it was going to be like last year.
Yeah.
Because we had them winning it last year.
Yeah. And I think I'm not ready to put them at that tier, but I do think that this team has playoffs written on them for sure, but I hesitate to put them above that.
Yeah.
I think they can make the playoffs. Where they end up in that, I think, is the biggest question, and that's kind of why they're in this category. They have the potential to really be in there in that like top 4 part, but they also could just be one that sneaks in at the very end.
Yeah.
And gets into the play-in.
Because on their main roster, if all those guys play to their potential, and Arrow and Jane get the most out of them, they could be top 5, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Because if you look at this roster now, if you just look at it, Effect, Oj, Taimu, Unko, Closer, Mickey even a little bit, and then you got guys like Zachary and RCK and AKM. Way too many letters there.
Right.
OGE, AKM, RCK. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. My God.
So a lot going on there. But I think on paper, you look at it and you're like, if this team loses, it's going to be, why?
Yeah, it's going to be a disaster.
It's a lot of last year, like, it's kind of like with Shanghai. A lot of last year's in your mind, like, yeah, last year I thought the same thing. And then they went out there, Effect lost his mind.
Right.
Taimu was yelling at people. Mickey was running around playing diva, I guess.
Right.
And then you had Harry Hook did nothing and Chips did nothing, and you're like, and Seagull was sitting on the bench going, "Hi, hello,
I'm still playing, guys."
Yeah. Anyway, so
I'm just over here talking to my chat.
Yeah. Hold on. You actually want me to come in? Wow.
Okay. Oh, hey, look how much better the team got.
Yeah. That would be the equivalent of putting Tom Brady on the bench to play backup.
Right.
Kai is not in Bill Belichick's realm of coaching.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to the Belichick family.
Kai is on the he's on the Hugh Jackson coaching tree.
This is my roster. I'm putting in who I want, not who you want.
Right. I drive the bus. I run all the players over. Yeah. This is my bus to run them over with.
Yeah, is he gonna?
Fucking idiot.
When they came in to fire Kai, did he do the get the fuck out of my office?
I kind of hope he did. Goddamn.
Well, then he did the same thing.
Right.
He went to Houston.
Yeah, and they're just like, nah, we're good, man. You can beat it.
Just like Hugh Jackson when he went to Cincinnati. They were so bad that Mike Brown fired the coach and the staff.
And this was his potential to hire a coach and literally not pay him.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah.
I think I might pay somebody. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'll go for that defensive coordinator from the Patriots.
Yeah, we'll take him. That was actually a smart move.
It was. I don't think
Cincinnati
it's going to work out.
And smart moves are like...
Right?
That's... You don't say that too often.
No, you really don't.
Maybe they'll clean up that roster. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for Dallas. Now, let's move on to the Dallas of this year.
Yes.
Let's call them that.
Yes, that is exactly what this team is.
Let's go, dude!
We've been teasing this team and talking about them for a really long time. And we've said it in multiple other videos, but Atlanta is the true wild card team. This team could absolutely be a top 5 team, or they could be a bottom 5 team. And there is no in between.
Yeah.
They could end up in between there, but it's going to be because they had an amazing run at one point and then a disastrous run at another point. That is just what this team is. This roster has so much potential to be absolutely unstoppable and incredible, but they also have so much potential to just crash and burn and just be an absolute dumpster fire. It's really interesting to watch. I'm so intrigued by this.
Yeah,
I love watching Dufran, but I really, really hope that he works out, mostly because he just brings an edge that no one else is bringing to the league.
Let's go, dude.
Let's go, dude. I mean, the fact that we're getting back and forth between him and Flower already, trying to teabag each other, just the trash talk in general.
Shit,
We've been wanting that so bad, and just the attitude that he's bringing. It's really weird. I was talking about it with my roommate, who's a big Dufran fan. He watches his videos all the time. He watches his streams, all that. And he's like, he is going to be watching this season specifically because of Dufran. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be that way. And it seemed, and we were noticing, it's weird because when he first got signed, it felt like his stream got completely neutered. He tried to stop swearing. He wasn't talking as much trash. He wasn't doing any of that. And then that's kind of when he went off the rails and
quit everything.
And was just like, I can't do this anymore, dude. I'm done with the game, all that.
Because he wasn't having fun.
Exactly.
And to him, that's part of the fun.
So it seems like they kind of had a talk with him, and they're just like, okay, here's the things that that we'll be cool with. Just don't go over this line. And it seems like they set straight up boundaries that he's okay with. And he seems to be doing much better at this point. His stream is, he's back more to his normal self. He's talking trash to people. He's doing it. He's having fun with it.
Yeah, exactly.
He seemed to be having much more fun playing the game and everything. Even in the games where, normally you'd see him being like, dude, fuck this. I'm just losing, constantly. Yeah. He's actually coming back and really, he's trying.
That's right.
in those games.
Yeah, and is he going to see a ton of playing time? I don't know.
He has the potential to play everything.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that I've noticed with his stream is like, he is literally playing anything that he needs, that he's just playing whatever characters. So that's the big thing. I mean, obviously your best place to put him is in DPS because he's a hit scan god. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody that has better aim than this dude. Like,
yeah. Maybe one of the other streamers. I don't know. Pine?
But I don't know if any of them can consistently do it as well as he does, is the big thing. Like, his ability is just unreal. And his flexibility is even better. Yeah. But even despite Dufran, this team has a very strong roster.
I think the guy that's not going to see a lot of playing time is Gator.
Yeah.
Because your tank line is pretty good.
Yeah.
You got Popco and
Pokpo? I think it's Pokpo.
Deco and Popco, whatever the fuck his name is.
Funko Pop?
Funko Pop, yeah. Funko Pop, and can someone just Funko Popco?
Funko Pop.
I'm gonna have this is gonna be a disaster season for me trying to
say all the names of the players and the names of the teams. I think the teams are gonna get us. And then we also have the space and super. Yeah. All of these.
And then I get Philadelphia and the fucking orange teams mixed up. That'll happen once or twice. I'll start talking about Sinatra. Bob, we're talking about Philadelphia. Oh, yeah. So, anyway, back to the Reign. Their tank line's going to be decent. You have Erster, who's from Lucky Future Zenith from China. This is where it gets weird with this team because this is where you have guys from you have Naylor, Masa, Kodak. You got guys from Korea, guys from China.
So yeah, you have
English-speaking Chinese. There's a lot of languages here.
One American, two Americans, 3 Europeans, 2 Koreans, and a Chinese player.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how they make all that work. I'm very intrigued by that.
Yeah.
But also at the same point, this team seems like they have not been sparing any expenses.
They've got good players.
They've got really good players. They put them in an incredibly huge, amazing house.
Them in San Francisco. What the fuck, man?
Right.
How do you afford real estate in Los Angeles?
No kidding. It's insane. I mean, I know they're probably renting most of them. And then obviously the houses are so huge that like it's cheaper to do that than to like have them pay them enough that they can actually afford to like get like an apartment in Los Angeles just because it's so outrageously expensive.
Florida's sleeping on a bus in the parking lot.
Right. But yeah.
Anyway.
So it seems like they're not really pulling any expenses. So I feel like the biggest question is, are they going to have the coaches that can get the potential out of this team that they need? So far, it seems like they've done a good job with Dufran. We'll see how that stays once the actual season starts.
And if he doesn't get playing time and things like that, and, we'll see where the attitude goes. Gator, I don't think he's going to see that much time, but he's another one that's kind of could go off the rails.
Kind of one of those volatile guys. But I feel like Gator's going to be kind of their... Matter. He's going to be like he's going to matter a lot less to them because he's just more a backup.
Yeah.
Like a guy with a lot of potential. But
I think you might see him, they might bring him in like Houston does with Spree.
Yeah.
You bring him in like on a Lijiang control center situation.
Right. Like here's your best, like, this is your map. Like anytime we play this map, you're going to be playing because your Reinhardt at this point is really, really good
or,
for this specific area.
Maybe you run him on King's Row.
I would say probably...
we're going with 2 maps to run Gator on. I mean, we're not even talking about the rest of the team.
Right.
But
yeah, so Gator's going to be an interesting one. I think he's on a 2-way contract. He might be one of their only ones that is.
Yeah. He could be. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that. But he is part of one of the original... he was part of the GOATS Contenders team. So he's one of the founders
of Goats Comp.
Of the Goats Comp.
So everyone can punch him in the face. Right. Everyone punch him in the face when you go to the arena. Exactly. It's his fault. No, I don't punch Gator.
No, but he obviously joking. That shows that he knows, and he knows there's something that he knows about this game.
Yeah, they figured that out
at a big enough level that he was able to figure out that, hey, this is an incredibly effective way to play this game. So that has to count for something. But then also, like these other guys, they've got some really solid players. It's just a matter of
getting them together, and
I think. But this team, also has, I see a lot of Dallas written on it from last year, but I also see a lot of Philly from last year.
Yeah.
Where you're looking at this roster and you're like, man, all these guys are crazy talented, but they're from all over the place. You got 9 different languages being spoken on this team.
Yeah.
But they made it work.
Yeah.
They made it to the finals, and there was a reason they made it to the finals, because they had some talent. Yeah, those guys were so good.
Especially when they got Sato in there and stuff. It's just
it
finding
could be
the right mix of players to play.
Yeah.
And if you take the opposite end of the spectrum, Dallas last year, in the beginning of the year, it was horrifying.
Yeah.
You had Effect, XQC, and Taimu in.
Yep.
Which was that was just like a explosion waiting to happen.
Right.
And this team, other than Dufresne, I don't know. I don't see too much of craziness.
Right. It's Dufresne and Gator are the kind of the volatile personalities.
But you watch Dufresne stream. He's volatile, but he's also one of those guys that's great shot, dude. He's
and he there was a moment yesterday or the other day when I was watching him, and he was talking trash to this tracer. He's just get wrecked, dude. And then or get outplayed, motherfucker, or something like that. He said it in chat. And right before the game ended, that tracer stuck him with a pulse bomb. He's just man, I talk shit and do all that. And then he outplays me damn you. But he took it really well.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of thing that gives me hope that it will work out for this team.
Oh yeah. And I think.
And him.
I think having a tank line that's got some synergy, is going to help.
It's going to be huge. I think this team could be. It's going to be a little rough to start, but I think once they have so much talent that it's going to be one of those things where they just kind of transcend the language barriers and everything.
Yeah.
So where they can, as Dufresne puts it, they pop off.
Yeah.
So
because Urster's gonna pop off at some point. And
right.
You have a decent enough support line. That's kind of where I'm kind of meh with them. Kodak was good in the World Cup.
Yeah.
He's good. Masa's decent. I
don't know if they're good enough.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if they're gonna be, because that was one of Dallas's problems too at the beginning, because Custa and Chips and
Harry
Hook, I keep relating them in Dallas, but for me, it's the closest.
It's the closest comparison. For
I think their coaching staff is better than that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest key is how Atlanta's coaches go about it. Because they have a
coach from San Francisco before Krusty came in,
right?
The guy who was part of getting Sinatra and those guys. I forget his name off the top of my head. But it's not like he was a bad coach. He just didn't have the right roster,
right?
So and. I think if he can handle getting the language and the communication and all that kind of stuff down, they have the potential to be in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
They also have the potential to be in the gutter.
Yeah. This is probably the biggest question mark team on our list, and that's why they're in this place.
I'm looking at them higher than probably a lot of people.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do that.
But that's the thing is this team absolutely has the potential to be a top 5 team.
Yeah.
Just looking at the roster, if everyone plays to their best, this should be a top 5 team.
Yeah. Easily in the playoffs if they all play to their best.
Right.
If things start going weird and, shit doesn't work out or communication problems and all that, they could be, just above Boston and Houston, or not Houston, Florida and those teams. You know?
Right.
I mean, who's to say? To me, they're the biggest wild card here.
Hands down. Which
means I'm going to watch every freaking match that they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no way I'm missing
There's
them.
no team that I'm more intrigued in than this team.
Plus, I like their uniforms.
Yeah, I really like their colors and the way that their uniforms look is really slick.
Their away uniform is a bomb, man.
Their away uniform's really good.
I hate white shirts, too.
Yeah, I like their logo is really slick. It's just everything about their look. I really like it. I like their color scheme a lot. There's a lot to like about this team.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they make it work.
When I played Pokemon Go, I did join the red team, so... I mean, the logo's fitting enough.
Right? No kidding. It really does look like that.
Yeah.
The Team Valor.
Valor. Yes, Team Valor. Go Team Valor.
Yep, I'm the same.
I haven't played that in like a year.
I gotta take another break on that. Because it's just too damn cold to keep trying to keep up with it right now. Even like going around and driving, I'm like, I'm so tired of wasting gas and sitting in my car.
Yeah,
trying to do these things.
Cleveland right now, it's about to get like...
Our high tomorrow is going to be -3.
Yeah. Not looking forward to that. I have to actually be somewhere at 8:30 a.m.
Ugh.
Hopefully my car starts, and I question why I moved out of the desert every day.
Right.
At least in the winter. Yeah, -3 degrees is horrific. If you guys haven't experienced that, put your face in the freezer and put a fan on.
Right.
And just leave it there for 10 minutes and see what happens to your skin.
Yeah.
That's your whole body.
But imagine that happening in like 10 seconds. Yeah. The second you step out the door, basically. All your boogers are going to freeze. It's super
That's the worst part. Your nose sticks together.
Ugh. Terrible.
And I have to work tomorrow. Man,
I'm so glad I'm off, but I got to work on Thursday. So
I should have switched.
Well, maybe if it's cold enough, there's some places that are closing. So they're not going to close us now.
No.
You're right.
Well, they might open later. Who knows? All right, now we're getting into weird weather bullshit. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for the mid-tier. Or not the mid-tier, our what the fuck tier. So coming up next, we're going to be doing our power rankings.
Yep, our official power rankings to start the season, preseason power rankings, or however you want to put it.
Yeah, there'll be some debating going on between me and Kel.
Yes.
Because we're each doing our own top 20.
Yes.
I've been working on mine. Kel's been working on his, and we're going to come at you next week with that. Also, we're going to hit you with some fantasy stuff, too.
Yep.
Once we figure out, where we're going with our fantasy stuff, we'll be able to give you guys tips, we think.
Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah. I'm just going to draft Profit, and I'll
hope for that.
Yeah. And
hope that he Todd Gurley's you to the playoffs.
Todd Gurley or Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
From 3 years ago.
Yeah.
At least we have experience playing fantasy sports on the whole.
Right.
So once we grasp the point system, which we're doing high noon, so it's going to be healing. I think it's healing and kill death ratio. Maybe we'll have to look a little bit more. It's stuff that obviously Jonak's going to be big.
Right.
Jonak, Bedosin.
Yeah.
Your guys like that. But yeah, we'll dive more into that when it comes to that point. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And don't forget to tune in next week with our power rankings. For all you guys that are new that joined us in the last couple of days or weeks, thanks a lot for coming in. Don't forget to hit a subscribe, hit the bell for alerts, hit a like on the video. All of you other guys that have been here, definitely, hit a like. Thanks a lot for all your support, all of the times you viewed our stuff. Check this out. Don't forget, these are also available on, right now, Spotify and SoundCloud. And in the future, they'll be on the iTunes, in the iTunes store, whenever it gets approved and all that kind of stuff. It's just, stuff that goes on.
Check us out on all the social media as well. We're on Twitter and Facebook as OverTakes. So check us out there. Get us a like. I've been updating the Facebook a lot more, and I'm trying to keep up on that. Misfit tends to go more for the Twitter. So we check us out on both of those and help expand our brand.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.
Catch you guys on the next one. Later.